Hopefully, you checked out yesterday's show because there were 5 rocking chair winners on the Power 5 Tuesday. Gave you Florida, Georgia, Michigan in college basketball, not to mention the Mavs and Celtics in the NBA. Go ahead, smash that like button if you've been enjoying all these free winners here on WagerTalk TV. Now, let's see if we can do it again Wednesday. You will not believe just how strong home court advantage has been in one particular conference in college hoops. Before we run down the Power 5 today, though, a reminder, go ahead, comment down below at any time with your thoughts, any thoughts you have, anything you want to let me know about when I run down these plays. Also, you may have heard I'm now on a 16-4 all sports run at wagertalk.com as we head into a massive football weekend. More on that in just a bit. All right, have you seen that Villanova is only a 1-point underdog to UConn tonight? This one tips off 6:30 Eastern on FS1. Now, UConn will be without Liam McNeely. He is their second leading scorer and rebounder, and they're going to be without him not just tonight, but for the next month due to high ankle sprain. Also, Huskies, while they've won 8 in a row, 5 of those 8 wins have been by 6 points or less, and they actually trailed Providence by as many as 14 in the second half on Sunday. This is not the same UConn team we've seen the last 2 years under Dan Hurley, guys. Ken Pom has them ranked as just the 23rd best team in the country. Meanwhile, we all remember that awful start to the season for Villanova, right? They were 2-4 straight up, including a home loss to Columbia out of the Ivy League. But Kyle Neptune's team has since turned it around with 7 wins in the last 8 games. 5 of those wins have been by double digits. Also, the Wildcats, number 2 in the country in 3-point shooting, 41.5%. I think they win here. From the Big Ten to the SEC we go. And number 5, Alabama has a bit of a tricky road game tonight at South Carolina, 7 p.m. Eastern. Obviously, the Crimson Tide could not have been any more impressive Saturday when they handed an overrated Oklahoma team its first loss of the season. Bama was actually a double-digit favorite in that game and won 107-79, but that was in Tuscaloosa. Now, South Carolina did not put up much of a fight at all in a 35-point loss over the weekend at Mississippi State. The Gamecocks were held to a season low 50 points on 29% shooting. They were 2 of 19 from 3-point range. Leading scorer Colin Murray Boyles had only 5 points. It's all pretty scary. Getting ready to face the top scoring team in the nation. Bama averages 91.1 points per game. However, did you know SEC teams this year are 135-5 straight up at home? You heard me correct. 135-5 straight up at home. And we don't need South Carolina to even win here. We just need them to stay within single digits. I say take the plus 10 against an Alabama team that is 313th in points allowed. Speaking of SEC home teams, we've got Arkansas currently laying 3.5 to number 23 Ole Miss. Also, a 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Classic BP spot here with an unranked team favored over a top 25 foe at home. You know what to do. Lay it with the Hogs. Similar to South Carolina, Arkansas just had a long win streak snapped last time out. Razorbacks had won 6 in a row before running into Tennessee on the road, but now they're back home in Fayetteville. Head coach John Calipari, he is calling out his team for a lack of rebounding. Meanwhile, Ole Miss is not likely to benefit from the same kind of poor opponent shooting they got against Georgia over the weekend. Georgia shot just 29.3% overall from the field in that game, including 2 of 18 from 3. Yet the Rebels still trailed at halftime, interestingly enough. Also, we've already seen Ole Miss go down as a ranked team playing on the road as an underdog to an unranked opponent. That was 2 Saturdays ago at Memphis. I know because I faded them there, and I'll do so again tonight. So it was a 2-0 sweep for me and my clients last night in college basketball. I had both Georgia and Florida. Thanks to all who are on board. You got those plays actually for free if you caught the Power 5 yesterday. Also, a big thanks to all of you who picked up that first NFL playoff release. It was available yesterday for just $5. That's a deal we do every Tuesday, $5 winners at wagertalk.com. I'm on a 5-0 run in the NFL, as I mentioned. Also, now 6-0 overall the last 3 days, 16-4 my last 20 in all sports. After you're done watching the Power 5 here, head on over to wt.buzz/BP for all of my top plays. I've already got a couple plays posted for the Orange Bowl on Thursday. As a reminder, I'm plus 61.1 units in college football going back to Thanksgiving weekend of 2023. That is number 1 at WagerTalk during that time. How about some NBA for you? We've got maybe the best matchup of the regular season so far. Tonight, as the 31-4 Cavs host the 30-5 Thunder. So once tips off 7:10 Eastern on ESPN. Cavs have won 10 straight, all by double digits. Meanwhile, the Thunder have won 15 straight games. This is just the second time in league history we have 2 teams meeting that have won at least 30 of their first 35 games. Cleveland, 10-0 straight up versus the Western Conference this year. OKC, 11-0 straight up versus the Eastern Conference. Honestly, I just don't want to fade either of these teams right now, given how they're playing. So let's look at the total, which is up as high as 230 and a half now at DraftKings, and it looks like it's going to keep moving. I would wait, see where there's some resistance, and I would go under here in what promises to be a playoff-like atmosphere. On the morning wager, Mark Zino and I also made the case for the first half under, which is sitting at 114 and a half. For what it's worth, OKC is number one in the league in defensive efficiency per Hollinger. But again, I think these two teams take this game really seriously, and we don't see the kind of scoring that we normally do from them. Second game of the ESPN doubleheader is Spurs at Bucks, 9:40 Eastern. I should have told you to fade San Antonio the other night in Chicago, coming off the overtime loss. The Spurs ended up blowing a double-digit fourth quarter lead for the second consecutive game. How I'm going to bet this one is Giannis Antetokounmpo over 17 and a half rebounds plus assists. That's minus 135 right now at DraftKings. Maybe shop around for a better price. But regardless, I think the Greek Freak fills up the stat sheet tonight. So Giannis over 17 and a half rebounds plus assists against San Antonio. All right, that does it for Wednesday's edition of the Power 5. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Make sure you're subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Remember to visit wt.buzz/BP as I am on. That's red hot 16-4 all sports run, 6-0. Perfect the last 3 days. Until next time, let's cash some tickets.